UFC Fight Night at the Apex is in the books. And man, what a great performance by the young kid, man. Salkilld is a dog. This kid is so talented. Look, I got to be honest with you guys, man. I thought he was biting off more than he could chew, asking for this fight, then getting the fight. I was like, man, Gamrot's going to wrestle fuck him to death. He's going to get on top of him, control him. This kid can do it all. This kid was so impressive. And not just by the, like DC was saying. The fact that he was able to call out who he wanted to fight, then he got that fight, and the way he performed was absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. I thought, man, I got to be honest, man, I thought the kid was good. I'm like, oh, he's talented, he's this, he's that, but man, this kid way outpunted the coverage. He's way better than I thought he was, and I gotta be honest, man. I don't want to say eat crow because I didn't say anything bad about him. I was just somebody who was like, this might be a little bit too much for him. I was actually about to put a tweet out basically saying like, man, this kid, I think this fight might be too much for him. He's going to get wrestled to death. He's going to get controlled, and the grind of a 5-round fight. I was also thinking, I'm like, he was fighting at such a pace in that first round, transition after transition, and then the takedown, gets the takedown. But this kid was escaping the submission, doing all these things. And somebody just put here, it says Will Smalls, US. He said like Aussie. But guess what, man? None of you dudes know how to wrestle. This kid just took down Gamrot. What are we talking about? This kid can wrestle, man. This kid can wrestle. He's got good stand-up. He can make the transitions in the grappling. That transition that he had to the back and then keeping the back when he almost got hula hooped off, almost got shaken off the side. He kept that far side arm like DC was talking about. That is what kept him on the top position. He posted the hand, moved his way back up to the top. That was another, I don't want to say another level, but a very skillful, very patient technique that he had to work through to get himself to the top position, get to that back, and keep on that back. Great job, man. Great job. I mean, Gamrot had 30 seconds left just to make sure that he didn't get tapped, and he made a mistake. Salkilld, what he did, though, too, is he actually leaned back a little bit. And when he leaned back a little bit, I think that Gamrot thought he could probably push back and then turn into him. But as soon as he leaned back along with Salkilld, man, he lifted his chin, and that choke got put in. Nice job, man. But Quillan Salkild's the real deal. The real deal. Like I said, man, I don't want to say I want to eat crow because I didn't say anything bad about him because I try to keep it positive on this podcast. But, man, he looked good. I know it wasn't a long fight. We got less than a full round. I thought as the fight went on, and I was just about to put this out on X, I was like, bro, he's fighting at such a fast pace. Can he keep this up for 5 rounds? Because if Gamrot gets 1 takedown and then gets 2 takedowns, it starts wearing on you. If he gets in top position, that's the wrestling mentality, right? Is I may not win the first round, but if I get 1 takedown and make you work, and then get into the second takedown and the third takedown, then they start coming easier. And they start breaking your will. And I was like, man, Salkilld was fighting at such a pace. Can he keep this up for 5 rounds? He wasn't even breathing heavy after the win. I was very surprised. Very surprised. This young man is very talented. This is going to put him probably at number 6. I think is where they'll probably have him at. Gamrot right now is ranked at number 6. I mean, let's just talk about the guys in the top 5. You got Paddy Pimblett. Him and Paddy to be good. They're not going to do that with Paddy, though. Salkilld doesn't have a big enough name. They want to keep Paddy on the path to a title shot. That they're not going to do that. Now, I could see them do it with Charles Oliveira. That is a fight because Charles is getting a little bit older. I think he's 36, 37, somewhere in there. Charles is getting a little bit older. You have the young kid coming up, right? How old is Salkilld, by the way? What is he, 28? 26. Look for them to probably give him, I would say they'll probably try to give him Charles Oliveira. Maybe Max Holloway. I doubt it, though. I mean, Max coming off, the Connor thing, and then also just all the, there's also, I think, something there that you could run the Ilya Topuria Max Holloway fight back. Now that I know the fight with Connor wasn't really a fight, but ultimately, you could say, hey, Max got the win over Connor. Now let's fight Ilya. They'll fight at 155. There's something to be said there. I think there's a lot of people want to see that fight. I want to see that fight again at 155, where I feel like Max is a better fighter than him killing himself to get down to 145. So I would like to see the Ilya Topuria when he comes back. I like to see the Ilya Topuria Max Holloway fight. You get you get Salkilld versus Charles Oliveira. And for me, it really just comes down to one thing, man. Arman Tsarukyan versus Justin Gaethje. If Arman Tsarukyan's, I know he's already matched up to fight Mauricio Ruffy, but that would be the fight. If he gets past Mauricio Ruffy, I would like to see him fight Justin Gaethje on his return fight. I think they're saying early 2027 is when Gaethje will make his return back into the cage. So, look, Salkilld put himself into that position, man. He'll be right there at the ranked in the top 6, only wanting the guys that are ranked above him. Smart move by him, man. Very smart move by him. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Very seamless transition on the striking to the grappling. The takedown was beautiful. The timing on the takedown was beautiful. The gather of the legs, took him down, passed the guard, got to the back, did all those good things. I thought it was a fantastic performance by the 26-year-old Quillan Salkilld. I mean, you can't say much more, right? I mean, that's what you want to see out of someone who's is on their way up to the top. So I actually loved it. Joshy, you versus Bo Bassett at catchweight in Roth. Nah, man, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Do you guys know this? There was something that just happened recently. Bo over the weekend, I think it was this weekend or last weekend, there was 500 kids at his clinic that he put on, like his seminar. It was like a 5-hour long seminar or something like that, because he told every kid there that he would wrestle with them. And he wrestled with every single kid. I mean, if that doesn't say what a great influence he is to the younger generation of wrestlers, I mean, he really is making, I've always been a fan, but I'm saying, like, he's really outpunting the coverage, man. He's really making it easy for, I think, a lot of people to love him. The kid's he's a great kid, works hard. I'm looking forward to watching him wrestle coming up. I think he's at VT now, so he will be at VT this year coming up. And man, I think he's at VT. Yeah, he's at Virginia Tech. That's the matchup. That is the matchup for me. I would like to see. I want to see him do well throughout his whole thing at VT. So he's a great kid. Great kid. So, but no, I have no desire. No desire. Tofik Mosiah versus Quillan. That'd be fighting backwards. He made his way up. Let's keep him going. He's 26 years old. Tofik is a damn good fighter. I really enjoy watching him fight, but my honest opinion is I want to see Quillan fight guys in the top 5 now. Hey, with that performance tonight, I'm not having him fight back. I'm not having him fight back. He's 26, very marketable. The fucked up hair and the fucking goofy mustache, all that stuff, very marketable, very fun. And with that type of performance, no. First round of Mateusz Gamrot, no. I'm having him fight forward. I've got plans for him and expectations for him. Damn good fighter. So looking forward to that. Hey, guys, I also want to let you guys know, we've got, if you guys are members to the pod, if you guys become a member, $1.99 or $4.99 membership, you guys will have access. I just got done dropping the RDR interview. It's available for members only. You guys can check that one out. Also, too, Javier Mendez, my coach, we just dropped that one in the middle of the week last week. Great interview also. And Roman Delize also dropped. So you guys want to check out those 2 interviews that dropped last week? Man, great interview. My interview with Javier, I got to be honest with you guys. It was a little, like, I wouldn't say emotional, but it was emotional for me because, like, it was the first time I've actually sat down with him since he used to coach me. And I honestly believe it was so good to sit down and have like a good conversation with him. Him and I used to have breakfast every morning at 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. we would meet at this little like restaurant in San Jose called Flames, and we would sit down and we'd have breakfast. Then after we'd have breakfast, man, I would go right to the gym. Noon training was the time that we trained, and we'd get our round in. So I'd have a cup of coffee and some breakfast there, and 2 hours later we'd just sit around and we'd only talk until like right before we had to head over to the gym. It'd be like 11:30. We'd be there for an hour and a half, hour 45, just chatting up, just the 2 of us. Every once in a while another fighter would join us. But man, I don't know. It felt good to have a good conversation with my coach. And if you guys listen to the interview, you guys will understand our relationship. I had to bug him. I was on him every single day. I was the only fighter in the UFC at the time that was out of AK. And BJ Penn had just left. He was doing his own thing over in Hawaii. And him and I were fighting on some of the same cards. He fought on UFC 46 where he beat Matt Hughes. And I fought on that card as well. That was when I fought Hermes Franca and beat Hermes Franca. We were both on that same card, but we had a great relationship, a great bond, a great friendship, BJ and I. And BJ was one of my main training partners. BJ is the reason why I quit my day job and started focusing on being a full-time fighter. Is because he came into the gym one night because he only trained during the day with Javier only, like Javier said. He was only training with Javier. He'd hit mitts with Jav, he'd spar with the guys, and that was it. Like he wouldn't really train with anybody else. Like he would only train with Javier and he'd train with Frank Shamrock and some of the other guys in the team. But there was no team at the time. It's just guys just training together. No one's really coaching them at all. And so BJ came in one night and they were always talking about how good BJ was. And I was like, yeah, man, this guy's not, he's not, sure he's good jiu-jitsu. That's great. But when I'm punching him or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, they're like, well, you'll see. You'll see. They brought him in one night. I was training with Frank Shamrock that night. And BJ came in and fucking mopped me. He mopped me all over the mat. Like 4 or 5 times he tapped me in like 5 minutes. And I was like, damn. Next day or 2 days later, I quit my job. I was like, man, I got to get in the gym and train more. If I want to get to the UFC, I got to train. Because he had already been signed by the UFC. And he was getting ready to fight Joey Gilbert. And, that was his first fight in the UFC. And it was one of those things where I was like, damn, I got to get in there and do it. But once I got in there and I started training full time, UFC had called. And I was only there. I think they signed me, probably like a couple months after I'd quit my job. And once I got signed, I just realized that I had to spend a lot more time in the gym, focusing on getting better, and I had to get Javier as my coach. He was the owner of the gym, but he wouldn't coach anybody. But like Frank Shamrock and BJ Penn and Bob Cook. He trained Bob Cook as well, but that was it, man. He wouldn't train anybody else, and he really didn't. He trained Bob Cook, but I don't know if he trained him a lot. He held mitts from every once in a while, but it was like more of like a, hey, I'm the owner of the gym, and just kind of like, hey, I only want to work with the guys that are serious about it, this and that. And I kept telling him how serious I was. And I quit my job and I lived at the gym, train in the afternoon, train in the evening. I'd take every class there was at night and do sparring in between with certain kickboxers. So I was getting better on the feet and everything. And eventually, man, he agreed to coach me. And once he agreed to coach me, my goal was to get him to start coaching the team. Because as I got better, the guys that were there that weren't trained by him kind of started to resent me, talk shit, and I was like, you know what? But you guys are all moving here from other locations. Like John Fitch had moved from Indiana, right? And Brian Ebersol, he had moved from Illinois. And these guys had all moved from other parts of the country. Josh Koscheck had moved from Pennsylvania. And when they all got there, it was like they had all moved across the country to train at AKA, and he wasn't training them. And I just basically started telling him, like, hey man, like our team could be good if you put some effort into our team. And I bugged him every single day. I kid you not, man, every single day for probably over almost a year, maybe even longer. Finally, one day he's like, okay guys, hey, everyone get on the bags. We're doing this. Everyone's like, what the hell's going on? What Hav's doing something? And then it just turned into, hey, we did bag work and we did certain drills. And then we got out, got all of our shin guards on. We kicked a little bit. And then he had us working on drills. And then we did like a couple little circuit things that we did. And then we did our grappling with Frank and Bob Cook and those guys. And it just turned in like the next day came and it was like, okay, guys, everyone back into here, get together. I'm like, oh shit, this is really happening. This is really happening. Like he's taking over the team. And it built into this, man. It built into AKA being, to me, the greatest MMA gym in the world. And it has been for a while. And obviously, I think it definitely helped that Khabib came, and Islam and Umar and Usman and all these guys now are all connected now with AKA. But it feels good to know that there's a lot of fighters would have either left or not stayed around had I not convinced Javier to be the coach of his own gym. That was the biggest thing that really bothered me. I'm like, you are the owner. Like, this is your brand. Like, we need to help you build this thing. And the only way we can do that is you stamping your name on this. So I don't know. It felt good for him to talk about that. And it felt good to see the growth of where the gym is now, AKA is at now, and to see my brothers, all of them. You guys, when you guys listen to the conversation, DC calls me right in the middle of the interview, and I put the little thing up, and I put the phone up to the mic, and DC and Hob kind of go at it a little bit, but it's pretty funny, man. So it's a good interview. If you guys want to check that one out, it's available now. Even for non-members, check that one out. Roman Delice is up, and then RDR drops on Monday. That is available Monday or Tuesday, I think, and that is available. that is available for members right now. And then we've got some great clips that are out as well. So check out those clips that we're dropping also on that. All right, guys, look, like I said about Quillan Salkilld, man, great fighter, great job, dominant performance. A lot of you guys that joined after I got done talking about it, so I'll brush back over it, is Quillan, man. He stepped up, next generational fighter. I saw a couple people commenting that Mateusz Gamrot's washed. I don't think he's washed. I just think stylistically the younger guy had the answers tonight. You know, if I put Gamrot against, a couple other guys, right? Let's just see who were his losses to recently. So he beat Rubovic, cool. He loses to Quillan Salkilld. He loses to Charles Oliveira. Let's not pretend like that's like, oh my God, it's so drastic. He beats Ludwig Klein. He loses to Dan Hooker. He beats RDA. And then he goes back in, beats Fiziev, beats Jalen Turner. Those are all big time names. Now those are years ago. Most recently, he's lost to Quillan and he's beat Rubovic. And then last year he lost to Oliveira, and last year he lost to Ludwig Klein. Those are the ones in the last 2 years. Those are the ones that matter the most. He's 1-1-1, so he's 2-4 in his last. He's 2-2 basically in his last 4 fights. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I look for Quillan Salkilld to really make his move. He's got to make his move forward. I think him versus Charles Oliveira, we saw that he is good everywhere. Salkilld he's good on the feet. He's good on the ground. I do like this fight right here. Tony the Tiger, 51-50. Great job, man. Him and BSD would be a good fight. I'm not mad at that fight at all. I think he beats BSD. BSD right now he makes too many mistakes. Right now, I saw a young kid in Salkilld that he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he has the answer for a lot of the transitions. So keeping that far side wrist when he tried to keep the back, that was one. Escaping the knee bar. And look, Gamrot had that knee bar on tight. If you watch Salkilld get up after their scramble, his knee kind of buckled a little bit, and you could tell that knee bar had an effect on him. That knee bar then went into some sort of heel hook, which I don't think had much of an effect, the heel hook. But man, I thought it was definitely a tight knee bar right from the jump. And that was deep too. It was wasn't close to the knee. It was actually above, up closer to the thigh. So definitely a tight knee bar by Gamrot. Great transition by Gamrot. Great transitions by Salkilld to escape and defend. So got to give your props to this kid. And like I said, I'm going to tell you guys the truth when I say I wasn't sure if he was ready for this. I was concerned that he wasn't ready for this. I thought, look, he's beat some good guys. He's had some great performance. I think he got 4 finishes in a row, all in the first round, right? So he head kicks Nasrat Hasparas. Then he beats Malarkey. Then he beats Danil Dariush, all in the first round. Great job by him. He's got the longest. He's tied, I think, for the longest streak. I think he's right. I think he's number 2 for the number ones for the tied for the streak or whatever of most finishes in a row. So he's got 4 fights of finishes in a row. Mateusz, Benil, Malarkey, and Hasparas. Great wins. All first round. Great win. And they're all done a little bit differently. Head kick, neck crank, punches, and rear naked choke. That's what you want out of these kids, man. You want the young guys to be able to get it done anywhere, which means you're guaranteed to have a damn good fight no matter who he fights. So I really enjoyed this fight. I thought it was a great fight for him. Great performance by him. And like I said, I wasn't sure if he was ready for it. Man, did he prove me wrong. Great job. Great job by him. So looking forward to seeing what's next for him and how soon he gets back in there. His last 4 fights have all been in the first round, and they're all 4 finishes. So I like to see him back in there as soon as possible. Let's talk about Quarantillo and Diego Ferreira. Man, poof. Yeah, I like this guy right here, DCA80, man. I do appreciate you. Thanks for the super chat. Y'all listen to him. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. If you're not a follower or a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I want to thank you guys so much. If you guys use that link down below in the descriptions, pick up some Element, man. Great hydration drink during the summer. I drink at least 1 or 2 cans a day, but I also work out real hard in the morning. You guys can follow me on Instagram at @TheRealPunk or on X at @TheRealPunk as well. And I'm telling you guys, I'll do a workout in the morning. I'll drink half a can before I work out, drink the other half after I'm done working out. And then I'll go for I'll go for like a light walk. I always do a little video. I try to always do a little video right after my workouts in the morning, post it up on my IG, just talking about life. I did something this morning talking about, most of you guys that follow me on here, most of you guys know I lost my dad at a young age. I was 26 years old, and then he passed away a couple days after my birthday. And it was one of those things where he called me on my birthday, and I think I was watching a movie. I was in a theater, and I was like, I'll call him back. I forgot to call him back, and it was like Sunday. It was Sunday Night Football. I was like, oh, I remember to call him back during Sunday Night Football, and during the process of me remembering to call him back, I was like, I'll call him after the game because I know he's watching the game, and he had passed away during that time, and it just really bothered me. And I was just telling a story about how my son got off the phone with me the other day, and when you're about to, you say, okay, bye, okay, and he says bye, and you go to hang up, right? And you hear him at the last second say something, and he said, hey, I love you. And I didn't reply. So I hung up the phone. So I just made it a point to like put a video out saying like, I called right back and I told my son, hey, I love you too. Those are like moments that they're such fleeting moments that we take for granted, just let them pass. So hopefully you guys are all working out. Hopefully you guys are all, making sure you guys are staying close to your loved ones. And just remember, at the end of the day, when we're on our deathbeds, it's not going to matter how much time we spend on the internet. I know I'm here on the internet doing this right now, but it's not going to matter how much time we spend on the internet. It's not going to matter what kind of car you drove or how big your house was. What's going to be important to you is that you spent the most amount of time as you possibly could with the people you cared about, whether they're friends, whether they're family, whatever it is. So just want to let you guys all know that, man. I hope you guys are having a great day. Look, Diego Ferreira, I felt like he just could not miss tonight. I mean, Billy just couldn't move his head offline. His head was getting snapped back. He was getting hit with that overhand right all the time. And then Diego's even jab was snapping his head back. Diego was able to stop the takedowns. Diego was able to scramble him. 42 years old, still doing it. When I was 39, that was the age I was when I had my last fight with Patricky Pitbull. Man, I had no desire to get in there at 40, 41, 42. I still love training. I loved the hard work. I loved all that stuff. I don't know, just something about walking to the cage didn't feel as fun. And that, but for him, he seemed like he's still loving it. He's still enjoying it. And it was good to hear his Saif Saud talk about how he had a great camp. Feels good. I've had those moments as well. Felt like I had a great camp, felt good, everything seemed good. Then you get in there like, man, I'm slow. These guys are faster. Just things, you start noticing things. And Diego didn't look that way tonight. Now I know Billy's not the top of the food chain. I don't think Diego's trying to fight the top of the food chain. I think Diego's just in there enjoying his last probably, year or 2 years of fighting, whatever he has left in him. And I appreciate that. Okay. I really do enjoy seeing somebody like him go out there. He's been doing it for such a long time and just so fun to watch. I love watching him fight. Hopefully he continues to do it. Great win by Diego Ferreira. Great job. So, Yadir Del Val versus Darren Elkins. Darren Elkins' retirement fight. Look, Darren Elkins has blessed us with some of the greatest fights. Most entertaining, I should say. Not the most technical, but definitely some of the most entertaining fights in the UFC. Times when we thought he was never going to get through the fight. We're like, dude, this guy's done. He's over. He's finished. Blood everywhere. But he finds a way. He's almost always found a way to get a win. And even when he lost, he still made it a dogfight. Still had the fans up on their feet. Still had people like just sitting on the edge of their seat going, man, this kid will not quit. And we have been blessed to be, I guess, live during this era of Darren Elkins. I've always enjoyed guys that have left it all out there in the cage, and I admire that about him, and I respect him 100%. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity to watch him fight so many damn times. Now, I know it didn't go his way tonight, and it sucks for him to go out the way that he did. But, dude, like, I loved watching him fight. If he was on the TV, I knew it was going to be a dogfight. Tonight was not the case, but I always felt like, and I think I'm glad that he knows it was time. I don't know if he had a conversation with the UFC and, where they're at with him, but look, I'm glad that he decided to wrap it up. Because you just can't continue to take shots the way he has throughout his career, no matter how much I've enjoyed watching him fight, him take damage and come back and get wins. I mean, this has been awesome. But our bodies and our brains and everything can only take so much. And I feel like this is a good opportunity for him to walk away. And I'm glad that he's done, but I'm also feel very blessed to have been able to watch him have some of the most entertaining fights in the sport of MMA. Del Val, I mean, like, he just looked good. I mean, it's hard to say, like, you have a guy, Darren Elkins, that's retiring, a lot on his mind towards the end of his career, obviously the end of his career now, at least in the UFC. And, he did what he was supposed to do. Had he drugged this thing out and you leave Darren in the fight long enough, he may end up fucking getting the win. That's how Darren is, and that's what we love him for. So, Del Valle, I thought he looked good. I think we're going to see him obviously fight a lot more. Great shot, great straight down the pipe, landed. Really, really probably no even need for follow-up. Ref jumped in. He jumped in on the follow-up. Ref just stepped in right away. So good on that. Look, I don't think Darren's probably obviously disappointed. My last fight, this is what happened, but there's a reason why we're retiring. And I think he understands that. So Alexia, how do you ever say her last name? Thanara versus Amanda Lemos. I mean, it was for me, it was 1-1 going into the third round. I don't know how they had it 30-27 on one scorecard, but I had it 1-1 going into the third, and I just thought Alexa did a lot more. She did more work. She did more damage. She did more controlling. She did a lot of those things. So Amanda, I think, won the second round when she dropped Alexa. But hey, look, I'd love to know why those refs, when I took Big John McCarthy's command class 4 weeks ago, the judging criteria part of it is the part that I passed. And in this way, I don't know, I just felt like when you drop somebody versus being held against the fence and you're getting hit with a couple 1, 2, 3 shots, the most damage done is what they are looking for. And I had the most, and Amanda Lemos in the second round had the most damage, the most effect in that fight. That's why they should have given her that second round. That's something I can really reach out to Big John. I can reach out to his son, Ron McCarthy, who actually ran the judging portion of his command class, which I thought was fantastic, only because I passed it. Big John ran the referee portion of it, and I didn't pass that. So I think that part that sucked. It sucked. It sucked. There's a lot of pressure, man. Reffing's not for Josh Thomson. I can just tell you guys that. So overall, were you drunk on Fight Companion? A little bit of both. I only had, if you guys go back and watch that fight, I think I only had 2 drinks, but I had just flown 23 hours straight flight into LA to do the Fight Companion because I was flying from Ireland. So I was like, yeah, I'll make it back and I had a straight flight, and I knew my flight was leaving on time because I was the first flight out at like 4 a.m, and the first flight's out in the morning unless there's some weird storm, like you normally get out. And that's why I was leaving the first flight out. It was like 4:45 or 4:42 was my flight. So yeah, it was a little bit of being exhausted and tired, from a week in Ireland, working it with Bellator, then jumping on a flight and, time change, no sleep really. Cause I didn't get much sleep after the fight. I normally try to sleep on the plane. Couldn't get much sleep on the plane. Landed in LA, right to the Fight Companion, had 2 cocktails there. We were talking and man, yeah, I was a little tipsy. So yep, definitely. But just to be honest, I've dialed back honestly a lot on the drinking. Drinking's not really as you get older, man, drinking's not as fun. So, but definitely had some good times on the Fight Companion. I was hoping that Shab and them, because they all moved out to Austin. I was hoping we'd start doing it, maybe a couple more down that way because it's a lot closer than LA was for me. So that would be cool. Would love to do it. So enjoy chatting with those guys, man. It's just fun. It's fun to be like, I like Brian Callen a lot. Good dude, funny dude. Same thing with Shab and a lot of those guys that are there. So all good guys, man. Sometimes they catch a little bit of flack, but shit, I don't give a shit, man. I enjoy being around, like I said, like I was telling you earlier, I enjoy being around good people, and they're good people. So let's go ahead and talk. Hey, Ty Cole Miller versus Billy Goff. Look, I thought Billy Goff, he came out very aggressive. He just wasted the gas tank, though. And it just came down to if he was able to get a takedown, I think that he would have had a good chance of probably slowing Ty down. He just couldn't get him down. And there's nothing more deflating than when you get in there and you hit that takedown and you don't get that takedown and you're just grinding, you're on him, you're all over him. He was all over him like flies on shit. He just could not get the takedown and secure the position. And I was thinking to myself, man, this kid if he can do this for 3 rounds, he could probably get the win. He couldn't do it for 3 rounds. It was too exhausting. You could tell though that Cole Miller, very relaxed, very composed. He didn't even look like he was breathing heavy after the first round of Goff trying to take him down. He was like, "No, I'm good, still good." Snap the jab, no wasted movement, none of those things. So I actually like this matchup. Strong Chiba, Ty Miller versus Levon Chokle. I like that matchup. I do like that matchup. Levon's good on the feet, and Levon Chocolate is good on the feet. He's not a bad grappler as well. Shorter in stature, pretty strong, got strong legs. I've called a lot of his fights in Bellator. Great fighter, good fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. That's a good call out, by the way. Strong Chiba. I thought Ty Miller looked good, man. Very clean, very composed, very relaxed. That's what you want from these young guys. Let's see how old Ty Miller is. 26 years old. He's a baby. He's a baby. Not even in his prime. 8-0. He looked fantastic. 6'2" for a welterweight. That's pretty tall. That's pretty tall. So, look, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what he can do. I thought the way that Goff came out, I thought he was going to be able to like get him down, control him a little bit. Being that Cole Miller was the taller guy, sometimes it's easier to get in deep enough on them to scoop their legs out. But, man, so trash card, though, Dern versus Jillian, a joke. I mean, it is kind of weird that they didn't give Wei Lee her automatic title shot. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll see what happens. You know, I think they're trying to keep McKenzie as the champion as long as they can. Very marketable, as we all know. And, you know, and her fighting style is entertaining as well. You know, she either can't move her head offline and gets hit with some big shots. Someone already said this, Corgi 40K, BSD versus Salkilld. You know, I like that fight. It is a fight, but he'll be fighting back in the ranks as well. But, you know, he's also coming off four first round finishes, whereas BSD just got finished in the first round. So I don't know if that's fair to put him out there for BSD. I'd like to see him fight someone like a Charles Oliveira. You know, that's what I'd like to see him. I think Max Holloway ends up fighting Ilya Taporia upon his return. And I think you got Arman Sarukian if he's able to get past Mauricio Ruffy. Then you have him versus Justin Gaethje when Justin Gaethje returns in early 2027. Seems like the path that I've heard that's kind of the path that they may be taking with Arman. I think Gaethje's been very clear that he wants to take some time off and rest up a little bit for early January, February return in 2027. So good on him. The last fight I'm going to talk about, I know there were some good fights on the prelims, but you guys got to tune in tomorrow morning for Big Ange and I. We'll do a full recap of the whole card. But to me, I want to make sure this Asplin and Pat fight, Guillermo Pat and Steven Asplin, great heavyweight fight. Great heavyweight fight. You have Gamrot Pat. Pat is one of those guys that he probably should be fighting at 205. He's lean. I don't know if he can make 205, but he's a smaller type hybrid heavyweight, and I really enjoy watching those fighters. I enjoy watching the heavyweights that are smaller fight. Look at guys like Hokit. Look at guys like DC and Cain Velasquez were both smaller heavyweights. When you get those smaller guys, there's a lot more action. Okay, they bring the pressure, and they just put the gas tank on them, man. I love watching that style. But with Pat, he basically let the body size of Asplin get to him, was hanging on him. He started to get tired as the fight went on. He had a good, I think, second round. So first round was Asplin, second round, or Asplin in 1-2. It was a good back and forth. But this fight, man, they both got dropped. They both had some great exchanges. It was a great fight. For a heavyweight fight, I mean, it wasn't the most technical, but it was definitely very fun to watch. Very fun. And I'm sorry, but if you guys haven't heard him speak on the mic afterwards, it gives me that Brian Battle type feel, or he's got that very rough kind of, and same thing with Quillan, Salkilld. Great on the mic, man. When you get the mic like that, you control the mic, you dominate the mic. That was one thing that I always look back in my career, and I'm like, damn, I never did that. I never like grabbed the mic and be like, yeah, I'm fucking here to stay. I'm here to fucking whoop this dude's ass. I never did that. I never felt comfortable like talking like that because I don't know, it just wasn't me. And I didn't want to be something that I wasn't. But man, these guys, it flows perfectly for them. I love the way that Asplin was talking on the mic afterwards. A lot of cursing. Okay, I would have probably done the same thing, but a lot of cursing. But look, energy, excitement, and I love his little bit. Hey, tell all those fat get ready because I'm coming. I love all that. Line up the next fat guy to fight me. I love it, man. I love that. And then Salkilld did the same thing. Doesn't matter. I'm here to fight all the guys in the top 5. Makes sense, man. So I love when they get on the mic and they control the mic. They give DC something to talk about. They give DC something to react to because then DC can run with it. And DC is probably one of the best at putting on the next question that gives you an opportunity to even capitalize even more because DC got a little shit talker in himself. So when you give him something like that, He'll run with it, man. Like, oh yeah, well, what about this? What about that? Or hey, I'd love seeing this. He'll give you something. He'll lob a softball up there for you so you can hit it out of the park. And if you've got the skills, man, I'd love to see that. So those are the benefits of, when you get that win and you get that mic, you got to make sure you do it. Uncle Chael talked about it all the time. You've got to make sure when you get that mic, you're making your next step. You're in charge of your own career. That's what happened to the Philly card, worst card ever. I don't know what happened to the Philly card, man. I don't know, man. I mean, you got Islam at the top, right? Let's take a quick look at it. Let's see what we can find out here. Let's take a look. Yeah, you got McKenzie Dern, Julian Robinson. You got Robovics versus Barboza. That should be a fun fight. I don't know what fight you're talking about, but like Esteban Robovics versus Edson Barboza should be a fun fight. Luque versus Gore. I mean, Gore, I don't know. Luque has his, anaconda darces and stuff, but he's getting a little bit older. And then, Gore, Tresean Gore, I don't know. I haven't seen Tresean Gore in a bad fight. He's always in fun fights. He's in these big knockdown, drag out fights, whatever it is. Like Jeremiah Wells versus Orobai. To me, that should be a good fight. I mean, I think you're probably looking for, maybe you're looking for huge, names. But I mean, look, you got Joao Alvarez versus Chidi and Chikawane. You got Jalen Turner versus Fernandez. You got Neil Magny versus Bahamij. I mean, there's some fights on here, man. There's some good fights on here. So maybe not that name value, maybe not the value that you're thinking, like, maybe it's because you got a little spoiled with the last numbered event and the numbered event before that. They use a lot of their top names for the White House card, for the Connor card, all of those things. So sorry, guys. I have really bad allergies in Texas here. So, oh man, excuse me. All right. Hey, I'm going to let you guys go. Tomorrow morning with Big Ange, we're going to do a full recap of the whole card, and we'll talk some news and everything as well. So that should probably be around 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope you guys enjoy the show, man. I want to thank you guys. I'm going to get out of here before I start exploding with coughing. But hey, guys, thank you so much. And also, members only. Make sure you guys can check out that RDR interview is up already for members only. Go back and check out the Roman Dolidze interview as well as the Javier Mendez interview. Great interview on both of them. RDR is up. I'm going to leave you guys with this, man. Saturday mornings used to mean coffee and sidelines. Now it's game time for all of us. We're running drills, chasing goals, and yeah, trying to keep up with each other. Soccer, lacrosse, doesn't matter. What matters is we're doing it together. But here's the thing I didn't expect. Training with your kids, it hits different. You sweat more, you push harder. If you're not careful, you could burn yourself out. That's why I started bringing Element. No sugar, no junk, just electrolytes. Sodium, potassium, magnesium. So you can stay sharp, stay moving, and stay in the game. Because when your kids look over and say, "Come on, Dad, keep up," you don't want to sit this one out. You want to be right there with them. Hydration isn't just about performance. It's about showing up. For them, for yourself, for moments like this. Element.
Stay salty.
Until next time, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support the pod, and we will see you next time.